Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for clicking this video. Today we are up to episode 3 of So You Want to Host a Group Cruise, and today's episode is all about activities. What are we going to do? First, before we get started, I want to send a big thank you to my channel members for sponsoring today's video. Your contribution to my channel every month does not go unnoticed, and I truly, honestly appreciate you more than you could ever know. Now, if you have not seen episode 1 or 2, make sure you click the links in the description box to check out those episodes to get you all acclimated to where we are right now. What are we going to do? So, one of the first things I think you need to do is just keep in mind that being the host of a group cruise, you will be basically managing potentially lots of people. And with that in mind, you have to really think about times, spaces, things that will affect your group altogether as far as activities are concerned, especially if you're going to do things in different areas around the ship. It's like basically you need to research. Once you know the ship you're going on, I suggest you first start off with just looking online at the ship layout. Look and see where they have open spaces that you can gather with people. Look and see where they have bars or restaurants and things like that. And then sort of, if it's a cruise line you've already been on before, sort of think about when they do things, so if you know that there's always a big deck party one night at 10 o'clock, then maybe you should be like, okay, well, maybe we won't do something at 10 o'clock at night just because we don't want people to miss out on the deck party. So just sort of researching. Another good thing to do with the research is to look at cruise vlogs. Like, look at vlogs for the ship that you chose and kind of see which days they did which activities. That will help you because, usually the cruise lines stick to the same type of schedule for the same amount of days. So if you're going on a 5-day cruise, then you can sort of look at someone's vlog and say, oh, so on the second day, they had formal night. And so maybe for that, you won't plan something as far as clothes for that night because it's a formal night. You know what I mean? So hopefully that makes sense. So one of the first things I think you should do when you're planning your activities is to research the spaces on the ship and then sort of research when the ship schedules certain things. So when you're planning activities for your group, once you start having the space like your Facebook group, maybe ask your guests, what would y'all like to do? Just to get some ideas if you don't have any already in your mind. And then start to think about activities that you would want to do for your group, whether it be a meet and greet, some type of gift exchange, some type of, usually the ships will offer a cocktail party, or you might want to do your own cocktail type of party, or if you want to do a bar crawl or a slot pull or a cabin crawl, things like that. Like, just start to think of those type of things you want to do, and then where you can fit those in throughout all the other activities that are going to be on the ship. And just, jot it down. Think about the time that it would take. Think about the number of people that you think you might have, and then you can decide, okay, so if we're going to have 75 people, maybe a cabin crawl is not the best idea, but a bar crawl would be great because you got so much space around the ship. Another thing you can do is, if you have a lot of people, you can break your activities into half, so if you have 80 people, how about 40 of us do a slot pull this day at 10 o'clock. Then the other 40 can do a slot pull 2 days later at 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? So you can break it up if you need to. If you want to not have things be like a big drawn out time frame because you have so many people, but everybody wants to participate. So once you get an idea of how many people are going and then how many people you think will participate, and then probably cut that off by, like, not cut it off, but don't expect everybody to show up to everything. So they might say, yeah, I'm coming, but then at the time on the ship, they might be caught up in something else. They might want to go take a nap. They just don't feel like it. So, if you have 40 people say, yes, I'm coming, probably only going to have about 27 show up. 30 maybe. That's just what it is. It's the law of averages that not everybody's going to show up. So keep that in mind as well. Another thing you can do for group activities is to have pre-cruise activities. If you're going to be staying all together at a hotel before your cruise, you can either choose to say the group trip will start when we get on the ship, or you can say, let's all gather at the hotel before and do some hanging out, or even a land excursion. A lot of the cruise lines have excursions you can book for land before and after the cruise. So that might be something that you want to plan for everyone to do together to start the fun even before you get on the ship. Schedules. So if you're thinking of scheduling things, try to keep in mind some of the key parts of being on a cruise, such as early morning. Some people might want to sleep in just a little bit. And then you got to account for breakfast. And then, if it's a port day, you have to account for how long people may be off the ship and in port. If it's a sea day, you have a little bit more leadway because now everybody's on the ship for the entire day. So you pretty much have all day to plan whatever group activities that you want to do. Also trying to keep in mind that the ship has their own activities that people might want to go to. So I would say stretch it out as much as you can. Give people something that they can do mid-morning, take a little break, let's gather back together, late afternoon, and then let's gather again at nighttime and see what's going on around the ship. And you can just have little mini check-ins if you want to, like, oh, everybody meet at 1:30, and then we'll break off and see what it is that we want to do. In that way, people can see what's going on the ship, see what's going on within the group, and then decide what it is that they want to participate in. And then if you're doing things off the ship, like if you're going to do one big group excursion, make sure that as the host that you are the one setting everything up, so that way you can keep track of everybody that is going to be going. So if you booked a van for 40 people, you need to make sure that you pick a time, you pick a meeting spot, and give people enough time to get there. So if your van's coming to pick everybody up at 9:30, you might want to tell everybody to get there by 9 o'clock, 9:15 at the latest. So that way you have time to, this goes back to our list, have everybody's name on the list. Did they pay for it? Are we going to pay when we get there? Are they going to give the money to you so you know that it's completely paid for? Are they going to give it to the excursion leader? Decide on that and let people know so they know how to prepare to meet you at the pier. Have a spot that everyone can meet. It might be a good idea to have a sign, group cruise meet here. So that way, as people are walking along the pier, so many people out there that they can spot you and see your sign. And then now they can say, okay, these are my people. This is where I'm going to go. And then have that meeting spot. And it's almost like you're going on a field trip with kids. Keep track of everybody. If you have 5 people in your van, study their faces, get their names, and make sure that every time you get in that van, you got the same 5 people. This way, we're all looking out for each other. We're all making sure that how we leave is how we come back. Another good thing to do for groups is to have, not even dedicated game time, but it's always fun to have a little game in your pocket. So if it's late night or early morning and you kind of see 4 or 5 people, oh, let's play some dominoes, let's play some cards, something like that. It's always nice to, and that's another way to get people to get to know each other, have some small talk, because you're just hanging out, and instead of just sitting there, you got something to do. So keep it in mind that you can do things like that, and people will still just be genuinely happy that they're all hanging out and doing these little impromptu get-togethers. Like, always have a little extra activity in your back pocket for the down times that It might be on the ship. There's nothing planned, but everybody still wants to hang out together. So draw something out of your hat and say, oh, let's do this. And the last part of group activities, which I think is probably one of the most important things, is to have a place to gather or a time together for taking group photos. There's going to be so many people in your group that want to have these memories. And if you're taking pictures all throughout, you all can share with each other on your private group, or text to people, email to people. But, you know, if you're going to have collective theme nights, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. That's another good thing to do, is to have theme nights. You know, let's all wear red on the first night, so you kind of stand out. People know that you're all together. On my cruise last year, we all did it was called On the Prowl night. So everybody wore some type of animal print, and it just got so much attention for us. It was really great. People just was like, wow, that's a great way to do something. And then it's a great opportunity to take pictures. Make group t-shirts, you know, nice bright colors so you stand out. If the ship is having an 80s night or a 70s night, something like that, have everybody bring something that they can participate in, or that's something you as the host can do. If you know there's an 80s night, then you can go to the dollar store and get the little glow bracelets or the necklaces so everybody can glow in the dark. If it's like a 70s night, you can go get the beaded necklaces or get a mask for everybody or something like that. Something now to make you guys stand out. I was a part of a group cruise one time where the host gave everybody like a little Hawaiian lei. So when we had our meet and greet, everybody got a lei, so you knew who was in the group, because there's going to be lots of people in your group that you don't know. So that's a great way for people to recognize you. Another thing I used to like to do is give out lanyards, so everybody's walking around with the same lanyard. You know these people are in the same group as you, so doing something like that is really nice. But back to what I was saying, make sure, like, if you know that you want to gather everybody together, kind of have a meeting space. If it's going to be on the Lido deck, or if it's going to be like in one of the main bar areas or somewhere around the ship that makes for a great photo, you can meet out on the deck maybe and have the water behind you all. But as many group photos as you can, or encourage people within the group to take photos together and share it, so you all have all those memories that will just last forever and ever. All right, there you have it. Those are my tips for what will we do on this group cruise. I hope this was helpful in any way. If it was, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.